Coach Matt Griffith, the head football coach and athletic director at Sylacauga High School, joins us this morning. We'd scheduled this a week or so ago and had to reschedule due to some issues with Matt's father being sick, and I'm glad to know that he's doing better.
Yeah, I appreciate you asking. I mean, he's reached the age like everybody does that, he was diagnosed this football season with pancreatic cancer, and he's been battling that. And I didn't know if the cancer was going to kill him or the chemo. And any family that's been through it knows what chemo does to you. And but he's doing a lot better. He got to come home Saturday, and he's walking around and doing well. They can't quite remove it because of where it's located, but they used a new procedure to basically fry it with electricity. So we should know something in 3 months. But you know, that generation, that's a tough old bird now. He's been he's had triple bypass surgery. He's been diagnosed with this, and even the doctor said tough old man right there. So that generation was tough anyway. So, but I appreciate everybody's asking and everybody's prayers.
Yesterday was National Signing Day, and you've been a part of a lot of these. And any surprises, Alabama and Auburn, that jumped out at you?
No, I mean, usually they get who they want. There's always that one that has committed to Auburn and ends up going to Alabama. I always say, as an Auburn fan, you never see somebody commit to Alabama and not go to Alabama. I mean, it rarely happens. So, but I think the majority got what they wanted. They usually do. The big thing will be is what happens at Ole Miss. I mean, that I've been trying to keep my eye on that as much as anything, because you worry, if you're a big fan of the SEC, is once they go to one school, are they going to say, well, okay, let's start hammering everybody? So everybody's kind of got their ears up on see what's going to happen at Ole Miss.
Yeah, well, that NCAA certainly looking into Ole Miss for sure. Realignment on local level, state level, and high school sports. The realignment just came out in January. Talk about that a little bit as how it affects Sylacauga High School.
Well, yeah, every 2 years they're going to reclassify you. Every 2 years, you're either going, people jump from 5A to 4A to 6A to 7A. We usually don't have to worry about that. I mean, there's not a 10-kid difference from now and 20 years ago at Sylacauga. We're going to roughly be in anywhere from 515 to 535, 10th through 12th, and they measure how many kids 10th through 12th. So we're going to stay in 5A. The biggest thing is who's your region opponents going to be? Are they going to keep you in the southern bracket, or are they going to keep you in the northern bracket?
And it makes a big difference.
It makes a huge difference. We were really, really wanting to go into a northern bracket. It is an easier path in 5A football through the northern bracket to get to a state championship, because you're not going through a Jackson, St. Paul's, Viger, Greenville, Demopolis. It's a little bit better the other route, but we didn't. The region changed a little bit. They bumped some schools out. They bumped some schools in. We'll be playing Valley, moved down from 6A. They moved back into our region. I think we played them. We beat them in the playoffs. A couple of years ago. They'll be in the region. They bumped to Cleveland County, which I grew up calling it Heflin. So Heflin High School will be in that now.
Man, you got a good program.
Got a good program. Short does a good job. And I'm trying to think of the one more that they bumped in. Talladega stayed, Beauregard stayed, Clay Central stayed. Lincoln. They bumped Lincoln into our region, so we picked that up. And me and Brad were going to play anyway. I mean, that was going to be my game 1. Now it's game 2 because it's in a region. So that'll be a good new rivalry in the county, I think, playing Lincoln High School.
Now, let's get to game 10.
Okay.
You held game 10 because for 100 years, B.B. Comer and Sylacauga had gotten together on that 10th week, the final regular season game of the year. And there were some rumblings late last year about maybe there's some folks that think that might could change. And you and I talked about it.
Yeah.
And when I got the call from you back several weeks ago, I wasn't surprised at what you were about to tell me.
Right. Here's what you do when you get a new classification, is your region will be drawn out of a hat. You draw your schedule out of a hat. In that schedule, they'll have your teams, and you always have 1, 5, and 10 open. The great thing about Sylacauga was that my 5 and 10 were always set in stone. All I had to choose was one game. So Childersburg's always 5, B.B. Comer's always 10. Well, so I've got Childersburg had already called me and said, hey, look, we're good for 5, we're good. I knew the rumors coming out of last year that Coach Battles had said that he might want to move it to 1. So I left 1 and 10 open before the region drawing. I had 1 and 10 open, and I gave him a call. And he had said, Coach, we're not going to play. He said, I'm going to go another route. And look, I understand where he's coming from. I always have. I've always said that if I was the head coach over there, that's a tough one because the gap in the two schools has gotten really big. They're not close in any regards anymore, classification-wise and program-wise right now. I think they can be in some years coming up maybe, but he decided not to play. So we picked up Calera game 10, and we picked up Anniston game 1. And had to move on. I hate it because I wanted to be really sure. That's about 89 years of tradition of playing, but Comer has dropped us. We're not playing this year. I hate it for the community to a certain extent.
Now, let's be clear. This wasn't your idea.
No, I saved it. It's not. And I'm not trying to pass the blame on it whatsoever. I was going to keep 1 or 10. I was going to do what I had heard the rumors that he wanted to do, everything possible to keep the Marble City Classic going, because I think it's still important. If it wasn't important to the town, 2 years ago, Comer did not win a ball game. We had 7 or 8 wins. It was our home game, and I don't say this to make fun of Comer. I do it as a compliment to our folks on both sides. We go to that game, they are 0-9, and that gate was 12-8. It was a $12,000 gate because people are going to support both those teams, whether they win or lose, and that's a tribute to our town. I thought it was in the best interest of the schools to give him every opportunity to keep that, because you don't want to talk about money, but you can't have a good football program if you don't have good gates. Me and you talk about it. When I sit on here in the fall and say, hey, I need you to turn out tonight, it's because we need that big gate to fund our program. And listen, football funds other sports. People don't want to talk about it. People don't want to admit it. But there's about 3 sports that cannot function without football being in a huge profit to help those sports. You can't offer those sports without it. So I tried to do everything we could to keep it, but I do understand why it's being done. I mean, I do understand where Coach Battles is coming from. He's trying to get that program winning. That's me. He's trying to get his program winning. He's trying to get those kids to know how to win. He's trying to build it back to where it was when Coach Overton was there. Perfectly understandable.
And Coach Battle, even though he played at Sylacauga, he's been off the scene for a long time, and he has won a lot of championships. And when he comes back here, he sees what's before him, and getting beat 50-0 or 60-2. He don't like that kind of stuff, and rightly so. And he wants to balance it out to get. He consistently said last year on this show that when we get to our level, 2A players, teams, and like that, they'll have a better shot at it. And for him to win, he believes that this is going to be his best bet. And, honestly, Sylacauga's beaten B.B. Comer pretty handily for a number of years, and nobody likes to get beat badly every time.
No, and he made a great statement when we talked to each other. I don't mind sharing it with people who are watching. They need to know, because he is a true football coach. He has been doing this for a long, long time. And he has always been in the business for the right reasons. And the biggest thing he wanted to stress, he said, the people that are going to be upset don't have to look at my kids' eyes after they get beat that bad after a game, or they don't have to coach those kids during the week.
It's a great point.
Knowing that it's a 99% chance they don't have a chance playing a 5A school. That's winning. It's not just playing a 5A school, but we've had eight years without a losing season. We've got a good program. And he said, it's about my kids learning how to win. And I thought that was a good point. And people need to realize they may be upset, but he's doing it for the right reasons. I mean, listen, you're not going to get me. I knew Coach Battles when I was 18 years old. I've known him ever since I played at Jacksonville State. I've known him ever since I've been in coaching. He is one of the last of the great ones of why people like me went into the business. That people like me, Jeff Smith played for him at Welborn, who's my best friend, who played left tackle at Jacksonville State. We went into this because of people like Coach Battles, like Robert Herring Sr., like Spence McCracken. Those guys set the standard. So.
A few more minutes with Coach Matt Griffith of Sylacauga High School. Talk about where we are in the process of the renovation at the stadium, as you know.
Good point. I'm getting a lot of people are frustrated. It's a slow go. I'm not in that loop as much as athletic director. They're really handling a lot of this from the central office. I've seen the plans. I kind of know what's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I will say this. The reason everything's a little behind is you have to, everything's got to be approved by the state when you build on school property or school grounds or you're doing school things. That used to be a 3-day process. You put the plans in, it got approved. It's a 3-week process now. So everything's running behind. But what you are seeing was the things they could do very quickly. They put the lights on the field. They put new goalposts on. This is on the soccer field. They've got a scoreboard. They're doing everything they can to play those soccer games on that soccer field, so that I think you see about mid-March to early March, you will start ground being broke at the stadium. What construction you're seeing at the stadium right now is it's already been approved. The concession stand and the 2 soccer locker rooms that will be dual for our visitors and BB Comer's visitors on a Friday night. Those 2 locker rooms will also be used for that. You saw the parking lot finally done right there. So things are slowly starting to move. You've got batting cages, indoor batting cages were both approved by our Board of Education to go on baseball and softball. The reason they're not being constructed right now was that the contractor did not want to do it in the middle of their season while kids were around.
Will the football field be ready for fall season?
I think you'll have the football field ready. I think you will have construction up under the stadium at the same time. I think they'll get the field ready. I think the surrounding areas will still be under construction. I think the stadium inside will still be under major construction, but it should not disrupt football season. I keep telling folks, I think they thought pass the tax or continue the tax, and in about 3 months this would be done.
Be kind of seamless, huh?
It's going to be a year. I mean, look at the high school. I mean, we've been on this for about 5 years, and listen, if you've got a chance, I know it's a long process, you ought to see the old gym. It is absolutely gorgeous inside. I saw it yesterday. It's probably about 3 or 4 weeks from being totally complete before they start on the other gym. But I'm telling you, in about a 3-year period, our place will be second to none. It will be gorgeous, but we're going to go through some growing pains before that happens. People need to be very calm. Don't be upset. It's going to inconvenience everybody for a while. But in the long run, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be good.
You remember years ago when we first started talking in your dreams for Legion Stadium and that wrought iron, outside?
Oh, yeah, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It took, I'm on, next year will be 12 years, and it took 11.
Man, you're old.
I am getting old, I tell you about it took a superintendent with vision. And I tell you, every time I talk to him and me and him walk through these areas, and he'll always wants your ideas and wants. I'm telling you, it almost brings tears to your eyes that he came in here to make this happen.
Yeah.
The gratitude I have for his vision to do this, because why should our kids not have great facilities? That we are winning in every single sport that we have. We compete with every single school in the state on a big level. Why do they have it and we don't? And that is the point he made too. And I thank the Lord that he came in, he knows how to make money work, he got it done.
32nd spring football practice.
Spring football practice will start either the last week in April or the first week in May. They give you 15 days to get 10 in. We'll be playing Briarwood Christian at Briarwood in Birmingham. I think that's on the 16th or 17th. And it will be a controlled scrimmage. It won't be a really true game. But that's either May 16th or 17th.
Okay. Matt, appreciate you being with us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Coach Matt Griffith, the head football coach and athletic director at Sylacauga High School. Our guests this morning, no more Marble City Classic. Sylacauga will play clear of the final game of the 2016 football season. Back with more Daybreak right after this.